Today's lesson is on symmetry and reflections. The Indiana Academic Standard is 7.4.2. This is another transformation lesson. Our first vocabulary word is reflectional symmetry. That is when one half of an image is a mirror image of the other half. A line of symmetry is a line that divides a figure with reflectional symmetry into two congruent halves. A reflection is a transformation that flips a figure over a line of reflection. A line of reflection is a line over which an image reflects itself. We will use the X or Y axis for our lines of reflection. Pause the video so that you can finish copying down these vocabulary definitions before you proceed with the lesson. Example 1. Finding lines of symmetry. Draw the lines of symmetry. Tell how many lines there are. Taking a look at figure A, we can draw the lines of symmetry by connecting opposite vertices in this particular example. So we're going to draw those in. There'll be a line of symmetry any place where you could take the figure and fold it in half and match the sides up exactly. We have 4 lines of symmetry already when we connected the vertices. But because this is a regular octagon, we can actually split it along each one of the straight sides. So you'll see how I do that next. When we draw the lines of symmetry across the sides of the octagon, we see that we have 4 more. So there are a total of 8 lines of symmetry. Now we're ready to draw them on the rectangle. Now, since the rectangle doesn't have congruent sides, we can't draw them from the diagonals. If you would take a rectangular piece of paper and fold it on a diagonal, the sides wouldn't match up exactly. So we only have a vertical and a horizontal line of symmetry on a rectangle. So there are 2 lines of symmetry on a rectangle. Pause the video if you need more time to copy down any part of this set of notes. Try drawing all the lines of symmetry for each of these figures. Underneath it, write how many lines of symmetry there were. Pause the video and try these on your own. Let's see how you did. Put a smiley face on your page if you get both of them right. Put a question mark on your page if you miss either one of them. This triangle has 3 lines of symmetry. This hexagon contains 6 lines of symmetry. Let's look at example number 2 together, reflecting over an axis. We're going to graph the image of the triangle EFG after a reflection over the x-axis. My suggestion is have a highlighter or colored pencil available and actually highlight or use a colored pencil to mark the axis that you're reflecting over. So we're going to mark the x-axis. Now we want to reflect each point over this axis. There's a very simple way to do this. Pick a point. We'll start with point F. We count how far F is away from this axis. It is 2 spaces away from the x-axis. So we're going to take it 2 spaces on the other side of the x-axis, and that's going to be the new F, the F prime. Now we can reflect E. E is also 2 spaces away from the x-axis, so we're going to go 2 spaces on the other side of the x-axis and mark E prime. And finally, we can reflect G. G is 4 spaces away from the x-axis, so we're going to go 4 spaces on the other side of the x-axis and put G prime. Connect the dots, and now you have triangle E prime, F prime, G prime reflected over the x-axis. Pause the video if you need more time to copy down any part of this set of notes. Example 3 is more of a challenge problem, but I think we can handle it. We're going to reflect over a line. This time we're going to be graphing the image of triangle EFG after a reflection over y equals -1. So our line of reflection is not going to be the x-axis anymore. It's going to be the line of y equals -1. we're going to do the first thing that we did before. We're going to highlight where y equals -1. So we highlight the line of -1, and then we're ready to start reflecting. Y equals -1 is our line of reflection. Point E is one space away from our line of reflection. So E prime will be one space away on the other side of the line of reflection. So we can put a dot there and mark it E prime. F is one space away from our line of reflection, so F prime would be one space away on the other side of the line of reflection. We can put our dot and mark it F prime. G is 3 spaces away from the line of reflection, so G prime will be 3 spaces above the line of reflection. We can put our dot and mark it G prime. Again, we connect all of our dots and we have our new triangle of E prime, F prime, G prime, reflected over y equals -1. Pause the video if you need more time to copy down any part of this set of notes. Try these quick check problems on your own. If you're really confused, you can go ahead and watch the video and do it along with me. But if you can, try doing them all by yourself. If you get both of them right, put a great big star on your paper. If you don't get them right or you have to follow along, just put a question mark by them. That helps me know where you're at in your understanding. Let's see how you did. In quick check number 2, it says to graph the image triangle EFG after reflection over the y-axis. So we need to start by highlighting that y-axis so we know what we're reflecting over. We're using a colored pencil to mark it. Now, point E is 2 spaces away from the y-axis. So E prime will be 2 spaces on the other side of the y-axis. G is again 2 spaces away from the y, so G prime will be 2 spaces away from the y-axis. F is 4 spaces away from the line of reflection, so F prime would be 4 spaces on the other side of the line of reflection. Then we can connect all the dots and we have a triangle of E prime, F prime, G prime, reflected over the y-axis. For number 3, we actually have to graph triangle ABC first with vertices A at 3, 0, B at 2, 3, and C at 5, -1. Then we're going to graph its image after a reflection over the line x equals 2. So we highlight where x equals 2. Now B, since it's right on that line of reflection, B prime is going to be in the exact same spot. So I'm going to put a B prime here in a different color so that you can see that B and B prime are in the exact same spot. Now A is 1 away from the line of reflection, so we're going to go 1 on the other side, and that will be A prime. C is 3 spaces away from that line of reflection, so C prime will be 3 spaces on the other side of the line of reflection. Again, connect all your dots, and you now have triangle ABC reflected over the line of x equals 2 to give you triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Pause the video if you need more time to correct or copy down either one of these examples. Remember, put a smiley face if you had both of these correct, put a question mark if you missed either one of them or just had to follow along as the examples. I'll be checking to see what kind of mark you put on your paper.